So thank you guys so much for coming today to our meeting for week 5. Today we have a representative from PwC talking a little bit more about their service lines and how analytics could apply and how quantitative analysis could apply to those service lines.
And as always, feel free to check in via this QR code or the link in the chat, which is not there yet, but feel free to sign up, log your attendance, and you could win a prize at the end of the quarter based on the rules at this little flyer or on our Instagram.
So here is the schedule for today's meeting. And here's our schedule for the rest of the quarter. So today, like I said, we have a representative from PwC. Next week, we have Zendesk coming to talk. A week after that, we have eBay. And then on week 8, we have Pandas, which will kind of be building on to our Introduction to Python workshop that we had earlier this quarter. And we'll be going in depth with a package within Python or library within Python that helps you do data analytics easier.
And as you guys have probably heard of already, Cal Poly does have a master's in business analytics program. It's actually ranked among the nation's top 10. It's a 10-month program. It's starting up again in fall 2021. The only prereqs are just that you have your bachelor's degree and a minimum 2.5 GPA. And there's another information session coming up on May 4th at 4 p.m. So make sure to check out. I think it's probably online. You can find information about how to get to that. And then the deadline to apply to this is June 1st, 2021. So if you are graduating and are interested, be sure to check that out.
Not sure if we have the representative here. Do we have a representative from the Career Readiness Center here? Adrian was supposed to do this, but he doesn't seem to be here. Okay, if not, I'll just take over. So OCLAB has a Career Readiness Center for resume reviews, networking tips, assistance with internship search, mock interviews, and more. You can scan the QR code, and I think that leads to the sign-up form for appointments. And then if not, there's drop-in hours Monday through Thursday, 10 to 12 p.m. So definitely take advantage of this resource if you are looking for an internship or a full-time opportunity.
Also, if you guys are interested in taking summer classes, they're out on Schedule Builder now, and registration is going on right now. So make sure you check your appointment if that's something you're interested in. They're going at a reduced price of $225 per unit, and they also have 4 different options of sessions. So definitely, if you're interested.
All right, so the internship that we're highlighting this week is the Tesla Energy Asset Management internship. And one interesting thing about this internship is that it's going to be full-time and during fall. So if you're not going to be in school next fall quarter, like definitely apply for this internship. You'll be working on 3 projects. One of them is reducing product replacement case backlog. The other one is accurate tracking of Tesla's contractual obligations. And the third one is automating the different types of availability calculations on their industrial storage fleet. And they're looking for someone that's proficient in SQL, Python, Excel, VBA, and front-end software development. So if this sounds interesting to you, definitely check it out. I'll put the link in the chat. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can contact us through our Instagram, which is @CalPolyQuack, or our Gmail, which is cpquack@gmail.com. And to join the mailing list, you can just scan this QR code. And here, I'm going to drop the link for the mailing list also in the chat. And be sure to join our Slack channel to stay updated on like all Quack news, internship opportunities, meetings, things like that. And the link for the Slack channel is also going to be in the chat.
Also, if you ever feel like you want to catch up on any of our previous meetings, we do have a YouTube channel, so you can visit it to view past recordings of meetings, workshops, speakers, just to catch up on anything you feel like you've missed.
And here at Quack, we're always open to your suggestions. So if there's anything you'd like to see like throughout the quarter, next quarter, or anything you'd like to see changed, just let us know through our suggestion box. You can like get to the suggestion box by scanning the QR code or just the link that I put in the chat.
And then for today's meeting, we have Kaitlyn here from PwC. She's a talent acquisition manager. And yeah, so take it away, Kaitlyn.
Great. Thanks, Alexa. Let me go ahead and share my screen with y'all. Okay, should be good to go. Thank you for having me today. It's great to get to chat with y'all, answer any questions you have. Obviously, do a little bit smaller of a group, so happy, come off mute, ask any questions you might have as we're going through things. Kind of the goal of today, wanted to go through just digital at PwC, how the skills that you're learning at Cal Poly and it can relate back to many different roles at the firm. So we'll kind of get into recruiting opportunities, the timeline towards the end, but wanted to just go over high level kind of at PwC, what we are doing now in the tech space, how we're upskilling all of our employees, no matter the lines of service there. So lots of different, very casual, feel free, come off mute, add anything in the chat, happy to interrupt me if I need a water break or something to throughout. So feel free, ask any questions there. Like they said, my name is Kaitlyn Koyama, and I am the Cal Poly recruiter for PwC. So I've been at the firm for almost 5 years now, 3 of those on our client service side, and then 2 of those in campus recruiting at Cal Poly. So excited to be here, chatting with a new club, different folks, and really just expanding our reach. So like we said, happy to answer questions. I'm kind of your go-to person for anything PwC. So we are one of the big 4 accounting firms. However, we're so much more than just accounting. We're a professional service firm as well. So we have folks from all different backgrounds from Cal Poly, from accounting majors to information systems to computer science, industrial engineering, lots of different majors. So like I said, so much more than just accounting and what a lot of people might think, lots of different opportunities for folks at all different levels. So kind of quick agenda, we always like to give the roadmap before we get into anything. Wanted to just go over just in the world, general mega trends, some emerging technologies we're seeing, how those technologies are impacting our professional services firm, how PwC specifically is evolving to meet those new technologies, highlighting what we're doing specifically at our firm. And then, like I said, at the end, some key takeaways, recruiting timeline, questions y'all might have as we move into the summer and the fall in just a few short months. So with that, we will dive right in. Wanted to have, obviously, we try and be interactive. We don't want this to feel like school for y'all. So in the chat for this first question, just thinking about generally what products or services might have existed 10 years ago that are no longer around today, even 5 years ago. If you can think of 1 or 2, feel free to pop a couple in the chat. Blockbuster, Alexa, I like that one. If anyone hasn't watched the documentary on Netflix, very interesting. Oh, internet cafes, it's a good one. Self-driving cars, the new recent things. Maybe 1 or 2 more, if y'all can think of anything else. I think it's kind of hard even to think back like a few years ago. I'm like, wait, what wasn't here? Because it so quickly gets moved out of your head. MP3 players, that's a good one, Victoria. So we're kind of just thinking about all of these. So whether it be a certain store or place like Blockbuster, we know rarely anyone sees like a Kmart anymore. It also isn't here, as well as then too getting into there's VHS tapes, cassette tapes, digital cameras even now. You don't really see people with the little like Nikon cameras anymore. So a lot of those things obviously don't exist anymore. And then Angela, like you said, in the recent years, new things, obviously like self-driving cars, y'all mentioned Tesla just a couple of slides ago as well. So all of those people, as we are looking at things, are adapting to the changes, and the things that slowly get phased out are because they were either stuck in their ways, they didn't see a trend coming, they didn't want to adapt that way. So kind of just thinking about those things as we go through. And you'll see as we go, like the iPod Nano obviously isn't a thing anymore, but Apple is very much adapted to new technologies, especially too, as we see the iPhone is different every year with something just slightly trying to get ahead. And even if you look back at the first iPhone, you're like, oh my gosh, that is so outdated. It's so slow. And you can see just that they've really captured the trends and got ahead of the market there. So as we're thinking of those examples, we always say there's 3 pillars of disruption, and that you want to be a disruptor in a good way. You want to be the first person to emerge with that new technology. So like we see on here, 3 pillars are going to be emerging tech. You want to have a disruptive business model, as well as upskilled people at the end of the day. So we really see that there's these 3 main pillars that are really driving everyone to change the status quo, to emerge in a positive light, and obviously to upskill everyone so that you have a good impact in this new market, and that you want to deliver value to your clients, to your customers. So us at PwC, we are really always thinking about these 3 things. So looking at what is the latest and greatest new technology, which we'll kind of get into in a couple slides. We want to have a disruptive business model as well too. We want to be actively thinking about what's new in the market. How can we disrupt the market in a positive way and kind of break through there? As well as to the last one, our biggest one is how can we upskill our people? Because it's one thing to have a business model that is ready to disrupt, is making these changes. But if your people are like, okay, cool, we're having this new technology, I have no idea how to use it or what to do, obviously that's not going to be impactful to you or your business at the end of the day. So us here really thinking, how can we educate our people? How can we upskill them? And how can we really get ahead of the market? We'll get into PwC, what we've done over the last 5 years here. In just a couple slides there. It's a little outdated. It is 2020, new one coming through soon. But as we're looking at, these are kind of the 8 essential technologies that we have seen that are really driving innovation, making all organizations smarter, and that hopefully organizations and companies are all taking advantage of. So we see augmented reality, drones, VR, 3D printing, Internet of Things, robots, blockchain, and artificial intelligence. So these are kind of the 8. And I think even as we're looking at just between 2020 and 2021, we see some of these have been around for a few years. Some of them have really been adapted by a lot of companies, and others are brand new. So obviously, I think drones have been around for a while. It used to be like a fun thing that you saw a kid in the park have that they got for Christmas was, oh my gosh, they got a drone. That's so cool. But now obviously companies are using them to help upskill their people. So we see even from a PwC audit specific side, we've seen companies now that use drones to do inventory counts or to go through and see if they're an agriculture company, they're going to use a drone to check on their crops, opposed to having a person walk up and down each and every row and check things. So even just little things like that, I think we can see that PwC, different companies, who is adapting to these changes and who isn't. I always too think it's interesting when you look at this screen that these things are coming to your house now. So like I said, kids get drones for Christmas. I saw a lot of people who really wanted like a 3D printer for their birthday or are using their 3D printer to make different things. The Oculus VR goggles as well. People are super into those in their homes too. So all of these things are not only being adapted by people, but by companies as well. So I think really looking and seeing how can a company adapt to these changes? Are they making the changes that they need to get ahead of the business as well too? So lots of different things to look at. And also just think it's interesting if you look at a company or a firm to be like, I don't think that would relate to what you do. But as we kind of dig in more, it's kind of like, oh, wait, we do actually use these things in a way different than what you would think. So even VR, I kind of think of it as something that you would watch movies on or play video games on, but our company actually used VR. We recently were developing a new office in San Francisco. So we have a brand new building. And to figure out where everything was going to go, they used virtual reality, and people would walk through the building to be like, okay, I want that couch there. I think that desk should go there. So even little things like that are how kind of we're using technology to the best of it. So as well too is obviously really important as well. So biggest things we always say, our people and our clients are at the center of everything that we do at the firm. So we really want to deliver the best value we can, the best quality, more tech enabled as well too. That just shows we are making strides. And obviously too at a lower cost. At the end of the day, our clients want to pay less or more, as anyone would. They're going to see, oh, you're using this technology, so how is that going to help me? So we go and tell them it's saving hours, it's saving money. This is how it's going to help you. So I think our biggest challenge just as a firm is how do you use that technology, and how do you upskill your people? So really that third pillar of disruption is always the biggest thing. Like I said before, you can have all the technology in the world, but if your people don't know what to do with it, it's kind of useless to even have it there. So really diving in, and I think PwC has thought about that. We started digitally upskilling ourselves, like I said, about 4 or 5 years ago. The firm had been thinking about all these technologies many moons before that, and then kind of rolled it out to everyone in what we call digital upskilling for the first time about 4 years ago. And now it's kind of just part of what we do. Everyone who comes in with us goes through a digital academy. They go through digital training to learn a lot of these skills, which you all, being Cal Poly students, probably already know a lot of these technologies. Like you said, Python, SQL, all the things. Those are becoming things that everyone learns at all different levels, no matter if you're a partner or if you're a new associate. We're all trying to upskill. So I think your guys' skill set probably fits in really well, that you can have a leg up on the people like myself who've been here 4 or 5 years, who are still constantly learning it. You can come in and be like, oh yeah, no, I know how to do that, or let me help you and see what it's at. And so it's already giving you all a leg up ahead of us who have been here for 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
So can professionals choose what they want to learn?
Yeah, so I think, let me see if I have a slide on it. I think we have a slide in a couple, but yeah, so we have what we call digital learning pathways. So there's certain digital academies, like I said, that everyone goes to. Those are about 3 days long, which are very high level and touch on a lot of different technologies. After that, we have our digital lab and our Vantage, which are our learning portals, and people can go in and you can create like a curated, what we call playlist for yourself. So you can go through and see, okay, I'm really interested in learning more about Internet of Things. I'm really interested in learning more about blockchain or about Python. And you can kind of pick which trainings you want to do and what you want to learn. Is it a podcast that you're going to listen to? Is it when we were in person, an in-person training? Is it a learn at your own pace? Things like that. So there are kind of the broad topics that everyone learns at the firm, but then definitely we encourage everyone to kind of delve through and see what's important to you, what relates to your clients, as well as what relates to your personal interests. So if you're really interested, I know when blockchain started blowing up a few years ago, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I need to take that. So I know just from my own personal thing, what blockchain is, how it works. So lots of different options there in different ways.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. So kind of thinking too, through some of these skills, especially for automation, how are we going to be faster, do things cheaper for our clients, and so that our people aren't bored and sitting manually doing things. So today, as we look at kind of this slide, is our biggest thing, we want to analyze our results, give a resolution, and then give insight. So really, we don't want our people moving around numbers or moving around things. We want you to do things with a little more brain power, as we said. So really focusing on that resolution, that insight piece of things. Opposed to at the bottom, data processing, testing, documenting. We've created a lot of automations over the years, so you don't manually have to do that. You can really use the skills that you're learning at Cal Poly through different trainings with us to use your brain a little more, as we say, to help deliver that quality. So as we see, using a lot of automations to do that, which I'll show you a few examples, just really to move towards the future. So more time on higher value projects, working on riskier things from a newer associate position as well too, as well as just making you more interested in what you're doing. No one wants to move around a box 5,000 times or create every other slide deck manually. So really thinking, how can you use those skills to really push you forward here? There we go. So like I kind of just hit on earlier, what are we doing for our people? How do you learn these skills? So like I was saying, there's so many different ways all around. This digital hub is kind of where we house everything on here. So obviously, we really value any data analytics skills, any digital skills at the firm, because we know that that is the future of work. We know that that's what's important to our clients, what's going to drive us ahead of other companies as well. So really looking for students who are comfortable with digital, comfortable with data. I always tell everyone that no matter what role you're applying for, if you have anything digital, it really kind of pushes you ahead of people from other schools or other roles that maybe are like, oh, I'm just a computer science major and I've learned these basic things. If you've learned anything extra, that's always a plus with us. But that being said too, while it's a plus, it's not a requirement. We still have, as long as your major, your GPA, all the things are good. As long as you're curiously interested about digital and willing to learn, we have all of these tools that are listed on the slide to help you digitally upskill yourself. So I mentioned the academies already. We have digital accelerators also, which was one of the unique programs that we started offering about 4 years ago. So it was anyone who worked at PwC, no matter kind of what your day job was. So if you worked in our consulting practice or you worked in our digital assurance practice or anything like that, you have the opportunity to apply for our digital accelerator program. What that program is it's a year commitment. And instead of working on client-facing things, you work to help upskill our people. So digital accelerators will go through a really 1 week intensive training to learn Tableau, Alteryx, SQL, Python, Power BI, all of those different technologies. And then they will bring it back and they really host a lot of those trainings for our people too, to say, digital accelerator, I've went through very intense training. I'm going to give you all now this high level knowledge that I've learned. So really cool program that's unique to us that we just offered a few years ago. And I think now we've gone through 3 different what we call waves of digital accelerators who have gone through the program, graduated, then went back to client service, or now work internally for us around data analytics, around what new technology is the latest and greatest, and kind of being those drivers of that technology. So really cool program that we have. Digital badges as well, so just trainings that you can curate for yourself. The digital lab is different automations too. So even if you aren't the most tech savvy, I think you guys all are though, obviously based on your concentration, but for anyone who's not super comfortable, our digital lab has a lot of pre-made automations that all of our people are able to use as well. Tech While You Trek is a podcast that we offer too. So like we said, if you're more of a audio learner opposed to visual or hands-on, you can listen to a podcast about the new technology, how to use it, how to learn it there, which is really cool. And then I think the only other one really to hit on here that's cool is our Power Up game that we have. So it's a little trivia game. but it pops up. It's very much like HQ. If any of you all played HQ, now will probably a while. I think I'm dating myself. I think that was like 4 or 5 years ago that it was big, but it's kind of like that. It's quick trivia. It's 10 minutes a day around digital topics. And so answer questions, earn money there. So lots of fun incentives too, but like we can see here, there's all different ways, no matter how you want to get involved. So if you want to be part of a digital accelerator program, if you just want to use the automations we already have, or you leverage those to create your own, that's always an option too. So lots of different ways that you can help upskill yourself here and really build on that knowledge that you've already gotten in college as well.
Does PwC provide any incentive to do a digital accelerator program, or is it just based on like the person's interest?
Good question. So it is kind of just based on interest. I think a lot of people just get really excited about it because they're like, oh, I'm really into digital. I want to do this every day. I want a break from my client service stuff and really to invest here. So no monetary incentive there, but it is a really cool program that a lot of people did. They used to, pre-COVID, would get to travel a lot. So I have a friend who was in the program who traveled all over the US teaching these different academies for a week at a time, which was really cool too. So yeah,
It's like investing in yourself.
Pretty investing in yourself. It's doing something a little bit different as well too, and using skills. I think coming in, a lot of our folks, especially in some of our core practices, who are like, I kind of just need a break. I'm really interested in digital. I already do a lot of digital, but I also have like 10% of my time is serving my clients. I'd kind of rather do 100% of digital, helping other people learning these technologies there. So no monetary incentive to do it, but yeah, it's just upskilling yourself. And I think too, it helps you save time at the end of the day. If we look at different projects, I've only been here 5 years, but very much up when I first started already, that there's so many things I would do manually and would sit pulling PDFs or analyzing things for 2 or 3 hours. And now there's a bot that does it. You click the button and it's done in 5 minutes. So I think just learning these skills honestly just helps you as a person too. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have to do this thing that's really frustrating and really annoying there as well. So
yeah, definitely.
Different things. I'm trying to think now if there are any other, not too many monetary incentives. We're just, please learn this. It will be helpful for you kind of things. So actually that's the perfect kind of, as we're looking at our people and the ideal professionals obviously moved over the last few years. I think anyone who worked kind of in an office or serving clients 5-10 years ago, it was get your head down, you know what you know in school, perfect. Let's really utilize those technical skills. Here though, we have 5 different dimensions, what we call our PwC professional. So really what we're looking for in students, in our people today. But all of these things obviously around technology are really big. So data wrangling, data insights, data visualization are all really, really big for us at PwC. So I'll delve into those just a little bit more on the next couple slides, high level. But then also kind of more of those soft skills on the bottom are obviously very important as well too. So design thinking, storytelling, how can you really get your point across in a clear, concise manner? Project management, change management as well. How do you work with your teams? How do you manage a project? And how do you get it done at the end of the day? Obviously really important as well. And then that last yellow box on the left. So there are certain educational requirements, technical knowledge, licenses that you can get with PwC as well too that are part of us. But those ones actually, there are monetary incentives for licensure. So after a couple years, the firm will give you a bonus if you get certain licenses. It depends on what group you're in and level and things like that. So if you have questions about those a little later on down the line, can give you some more info, but really depends on which group you're in for that. But some monetary bonuses there. But yeah, like we see on here, it's technical. It's also those soft skills, I think, as we're thinking about where you want to work yourself as a candidate or applying for a role anywhere. I think it's so much more than just what you know technically. It is always those communication skills, working together skills are also just as important to have. Okay, go ahead and pause there just for a quick second. Any questions or thoughts?
I'm a little bit curious. So it kind of seems like data analysis is important for like all employees at PwC. So for us going into like a more specifically analytics career, how would you, I guess, encourage us to best use our skills if we went into a company like PwC? Like what types of positions would be, I guess, more to our focus?
Yeah, great question. So as of right now, you guys are we are also at an interesting spot. So we're going through a reorganization of our company. So a lot of our position names actually are changing right now. So kind of what I was getting ready for this presentation as this name, because it's going to confuse you all later what it's called. I would say though, a lot of our data analytics, like majors or focuses, will go into our advisory or our consulting practice. Obviously a lot more than audit or tax, which have that accounting background, but anything in advisory or consulting are going to be probably the main focus for y'all for data analytics. The names that they are right now, I don't think they're changing too much, but right now we see a lot in our technology consulting practice is really big for data analytics, management consulting as well. I'm trying to think what other, our cybersecurity practice as well looks for data analytics. So really kind of those are the main three groups, but anything with that consulting or advisory is what we call it at PwC right now. Like I said, might be called something different in 2 months. We're all learning it. But anything kind of with that consulting is going to funnel right it specifically into data analytics there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So for technology, this one I will run down pretty quick. Just keep it high level, but just so y'all know kind of what we do. These are some of like the main 5 data wrangling tools that we use at the firm. So if you guys are familiar with these, they're great to already have, but Alteryx is one of our biggest ones. Power BI, MicroStrategy, Oracle, ClickSense. So all very important. Like I said, we give, and Michael, you touched on it too, that we give all of our employees the resources to learn all these skills. However, it really will depend what group you're specifically in, that you use these the most or what's really important. So I think everyone at the firm uses Alteryx, no matter what group or what level, but obviously Power BI, things like Python and SQL are used a lot more in our tech consulting space opposed to our audit space. So really will kind of depend on those hard skills for each group that you are interested in. When our things get renamed, as well as too, our recruiting really starts to happen in July. For a lot of folks, when those positions become available, I send out to everyone the links to the position, as well as kind of which hard skills, which majors work the best and things like that. So I will lay all that out for y'all if you are interested once those become available, usually mid-July for us. So also too, we always like to have this slide in here. We're slowly seeing that we definitely utilize Excel a lot, but I think especially from a data analytics side, Excel is what a lot of our clients will send us data in, but we look at it and we're like, okay, that's a lot of data. It's not in the format we want to see it in. So ultimately, we use Alteryx to manipulate that data quickly for us. So creating workflows, this point in the middle, is one thing that a lot of our advisory folks become really familiar with too. So really telling the workflow, okay, I have this workbook. I need you to change these column headers. I need you to get rid of anything above or below a certain amount. I want you to manipulate the data in this way. And this is what I want it to look like at the end. So really, we call it Excel on steroids a little bit. It takes it, moves all the data around, and then spits something out that looks a lot more digestible than what it came to us as. So I think Alteryx is one of the biggest things that we use here. I will say too that Alteryx allows students to have free licenses as well, which I always tell my students is really great too, especially y'all kind of in your concentration too, that Alteryx, if you're not familiar with it, is a really great tool. And like I said, we use it a lot at the firm, but it's not a PwC specific tool. It is out there and a lot of companies utilize it. So they have different certificates that you can get to say you're like advanced in Alteryx, all those things you put on your resume when you're like, am I advanced, basic, or proficient? I don't know. There's certain certifications you can get for Alteryx, a lot of YouTube videos as well that can really help guide you through how to use it. So really interesting program, and would definitely suggest checking it out, especially while y'all are students and get that free license there. But one of the biggest things that we use throughout all of our practices. And then the other piece of it, so obviously you want to manipulate the data, but then your client at the end of the day wants to see it in a nice, pretty package. So data visualization, also really important, especially I think in our consulting side. A lot of what they do obviously is working with your client, comes to you with a problem. How are we going to solve this? And we want to present that data in a way that's digestible for them, that makes sense, that they can see everything nicely laid out. So data visualization is one of the biggest tools as well. So these are just a few that are out there. At PwC, I think we probably use all of them, if not more. Tableau being one of the big ones. So if y'all aren't familiar with Tableau, it's a really cool one too. I think that also gives students free licenses, but really it just makes your data. We send those to our dashboards to our clients. They can click into different things. They can change filters on the side really easily. So kind of like a pivot table, but a little more user friendly. So lots of different things on there too. So would definitely suggest also checking out Tableau too, just to help amp up even any class presentations you're doing or anything. It makes your data look really clean, really concise, as you're presenting it to either your professor or a group or anything like that. So this is kind of just a quick picture for y'all what a Tableau dashboard looks like if you aren't familiar with Tableau. Like I said, just really enhances your data, makes it pretty. You can add in maps, charts, pie charts, bar graphs, whatever y'all like there, but a really cool way just to up your data and really look super professional. I know we are at 11:50, so I'll just quickly hit on these before I think I only have 2 more slides. Thinking about process automation too, obviously another really important. So kind of the 3, data wrangling, visualization, and automation are our 3 main thoughts. But anything that you can automate is always great. Like I said, it's less work for you to do. You can go, we used to always say, you're going to get up and go get coffee or get a water break while your computer does the work for you. So lots of different tools and programs there that we utilize. Okay. And some key takeaways. So everyone's always question is, okay, cool, I'll learn it when I get there, but what can I do now to upskill myself or really set myself apart from other folks? So on Coursera, there's a lot of PwC specific classes there for data analytics courses to take. Once again, they're usually free to students as well. So I always tell people when they're in college, there were so many things that I didn't realize were free that when you get out of college, you're like, that's actually kind of expensive to pay for. So definitely would suggest kind of Googling and searching for anything, courses or anything like that that you can utilize while you are a student and it's free. We also, what else was on here? Sorry, there's a lot of words on here. I did skim it ahead of time, but very much skim. But yeah, Coursera is, I think, the biggest one. Obviously, you guys are a part of Quack already, so a great way too, just to broaden your network, learn about other opportunities. And then last but not least on here, on our PwC website too, there's lots of information about our digital upskilling programs. There's links to different free classes and things like that as well. So we definitely suggest Googling that if you are. And last but not least, to stay connected with us, QR code for everything these days. If you are interested in joining our mailing list, learning more, feel free, scan that QR code and it'll take you to a page for today where you can just send your information to us. Biggest thing, like I was mentioning earlier, getting you on the mailing list, I will send out once job applications become available, usually mid-July for us, as well as too, I always try and tailor our emails to be like, okay, if you're this major, I'm only going to send you things that relate to your interests, what you would qualify for, and things like that. So lots of different tailored information there. We'll start up a lot of our virtual events too this summer, and hopefully be back on campus in the fall. We will see where we're at there, but lots of info. But also too, just to give you all a quick high level for recruiting, like I mentioned, consulting opportunities or advisory practice is probably the best fit for y'all. Might be called something different in a couple months, but we'll keep you all updated there. We do recruit for our internships as well as full-time opportunities in the fall as well. So if you are graduating in summer 2023, man, I'm looking really far forward, 2023, you would qualify for an internship with us. For graduating in 2022, we would have full-time opportunities for you as well. So kind of both there. If you are to graduating 2024 or beyond, lots of other opportunities just to get involved early, meet people. We offer a lot of career discovery programs as well too in the fall, but all of those things and information will kind of open up, like I said, mid-July is when those applications open up, and then we'll close around the end of September. But we'll keep you all in the loop if you are on our mailing list, but also feel free. Everyone has an Instagram these days too. Follow me on Instagram. I also keep everyone updated there on applications, events, some cool PwC things we've done as well. So feel free. And with that, I've talked a lot, but I think that is the end of at least my slide deck. Wanted to see any final questions or thoughts. Happy to answer anything.
Yes, I had one question. So I know that like earlier on in the presentation, one of your guys' priorities was to like minimize costs for clients. And with the whole pandemic thing, all the meetings have been virtual. There's been no like travel to client sites. Do you think that's going to continue like after COVID, that the clients will just, I guess, just do virtual meetings instead of having or paying for like the travel of like consultants and stuff?
Yeah, that has been a big question for a lot of people. We don't know. I think biggest thing though is, one, our clients have realized like the world continues to spin without us physically being there, but I do think they like being able to ask questions, actually interact with us, get to know us. So this is not PwC stamp approved, Kaitlyn approved though. I think it's going to be a hybrid. So I think a lot of our people are going to travel a lot less than they used to, but still will have that travel piece. So it used to be pre-COVID that our advisory practice, our consultants were at the client Monday through Thursday with a travel day on Friday. So a lot of people were on planes, driving, things like that. And then we're in the office only one day or working from home one day. My guess too now is going to be a hybrid model. So maybe you say, okay, as a team, we're going to come in on Monday to work together, make a game plan for the week. We'll also then let's meet back and we'll come to the client again on Thursday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, let's work from home, work from the office there. So it's kind of my thought, but I think every team is going to be different. Every client has different needs as well. So like I said, maybe some of them are already itching to be, but like, are you vaccinated? Do you want to come into our site? And others are maybe like, no, we're good. Like, keep it moving from where you are. We know you guys already. So I think it'll eventually be a hybrid, but will still be some travel as well too. I think they know, and honestly kind of like paying for the cost to have us there, because they like to see, you like to see what you're paying for, in the sense that you're like, I want to know that you're working on my project, or if you have a question, I want you to be able to like pop right over and get it immediately answered. So a hybrid is my thought, but we will see. Only time will tell.
Yeah, for sure.
Good question though.
I had a question. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah, you're a little quiet, but yeah.
Sorry about that. So I was wondering if you knew anything about PwC's actuarial practice at all.
I don't. So I don't believe that's one that we primarily recruit for undergrad out of. But definitely something, if you join our mailing list, I can look a little bit more into it, but I'm not super familiar myself.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
if
If there's another question, we can, or you can put your questions in the chat. And Kaitlyn, is it okay if we share your email with everyone in our follow-up?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yes, feel free. Always happy to answer emails or on students. I like breaking up my day. So happy to chat with any of you guys more.
Yeah.
Okay, and one last thing before we go, what you guys have probably been waiting for. We did have a giveaway today. So we can go to the next slide. The winner is Rachel. Congrats. So we can send you the gift card over Instagram DM. We'll be in contact with you, but congratulations.
Awesome. So I think that wraps it up for this meeting. Kaitlyn, thank you so much for coming and for sending over the gift card too. We really loved having you here, and thanks for sharing all the information you had on PwC. And hopefully we can stay in contact too for the upcoming quarter.
Yes, we'll see you guys in the fall, maybe in person if
Hopefully.
we are lucky. Hopefully in person, but if not, yes, for sure we will be in contact in the fall.
Yeah, sounds good. All right.
Thanks,
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
See you next Thursday.